Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Williamson. I'm with the Greater Limestone County Chamber of Commerce, and we want to thank you for joining us this afternoon for our Limestone County political forum. I want to thank the Limestone County Commission for allowing us to use the meeting room in the courthouse annex for our virtual forum this afternoon. And I want to thank the Athens News Courier for their coverage of our program today. We also have Lora Scripps, who is our moderator with the News Courier, and Jessica Barnett, who is will be our timekeeper this afternoon. Thank you again for joining us. Tonight, we will feature our candidates for Limestone County School Board District 4. We have Rita Jackson and Belinda Maples. With our Limestone County Commission District 2, we have Danny Barksdale and Roger Williams. And for Limestone County Commission District 4, we have Ben Harrison and LaDon Townsend. For those of you joining us live, we thank you for joining us, and we will be downloading a recording of this and making it available. You can find a link to that on the Chamber website as well as the News Courier. If you don't have the opportunity to watch live and want to catch it later, you can be sure and share that information with your friends and family. As we begin our forum this evening, we have a pastor from Berea Baptist Church, Mr. Patrick Lawrence, to come forward and lead us with a pledge and invocation.
Let's do our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you bow with me, please? Lord Jesus, we come with a very humble heart this evening. We're thankful for living in Athens and Limestone County. Thank you for the privilege of raising our family, and now our children are raising their children. And so we're thankful for a debate like this. And I pray for each candidate tonight that you might quench any nerves that they might have. I pray that you would give them clear thoughts, and I pray that you'll help us as citizens to make the best choice for our children and grandchildren. Lord, I want to thank you for our past leaders, our current leaders, and we pray for our future leaders in Jesus' name. Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you, Pastor. Well, again, this is just the Chamber is honored to host this event tonight. This is an opportunity for the community to hear from our candidates, hear their platform on various issues that are happening in Athens and Limestone County in our region. These questions were determined by a committee with the Chamber, and none of the candidates had the questions prior to the forum tonight. I'm going to hand it over to Lora. She will go over quickly kind of how the format of the forum will be, and then we will get started.
Okay, we're going to start with the School Board District 4. So Belinda and Rita, if y'all want to come take a seat, and I'll kind of tell you how this is going to work. So we're going to rotate questions between the candidates. So candidate 1 will get a question, then candidate 2. If you start on a question, you'll get a 2-minute response time. And then candidate 2 will get 1 minute to respond. And then the first candidate will get 30 seconds on a closing remark. We're going to start with introductions, though. So we're going to do 1-minute introductions.
I thought it was 2 minutes.
I think we're doing 1. Okay. Belinda, if you want to go first.
Yes. Can you hear me? Doesn't sound very well. My name is Belinda Maples, and I am running to represent District 4 for Limestone County School Board. For those that do not know me, or for those that think they know me, I am originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm the oldest of 4 children, raised by some very devoted educators. My mother taught science in both middle school and high school, and my father taught science and math in college level. Both of them were very involved not only in the school system, but also in extracurricular activities that the school sponsored. And I spent my childhood cleaning out classrooms, preparing for labs, decorating bulletin boards, grading papers, helping with the lunchroom, and actually working as an office assistant in the front office. I really immersed myself in the atmosphere and the spirit of community that happens with schools.
Rita?
So I want to say it's a very noble cause, and I'm very supportive of schools.
Thank you, Belinda. And y'all are welcome to finish your thoughts.
Okay,
If
thank
the bell
you.
rings, you're welcome to finish your thoughts. Rita, if you want to give a 1-minute introduction.
All right. My name is Rita Jackson. I was born and raised right here in Limestone County Schools. My mother and daddy were Otis and Opal Sanders. We had humble beginnings. My dad came from a family of 10, and my mother did too. Neither of them graduated high school, and they wanted the best for us, and they provided that. My daddy was a business owner here in Athens, and my husband, who also was born and raised in District 4 of Limestone County, we both chose to raise our children in the same district. We could have gone anywhere, but we wanted to be here. This is home for us. Billy still drives a school bus for Limestone County Schools, and I'm a retired teacher. I graduated at West Limestone and then Athens State, and I'm getting tongue-tied. Now, y'all tell me if a fly gets on my head, okay? But anyway, our kids were all raised at Owens and West. I went to Elkmont until they rezoned. Okay, and I'm running for the board because I'm a retired teacher, and I still want to serve education, and I have a passion for education. So,
Thank you. Belinda, we're going to start with you on this next question, okay? And you'll have 2 minutes to respond. Why are you running for Limestone County School Board, and how are you qualified for the position?
So why am I running and how am I qualified? Okay, so I'm running for the school board mainly not only because I am very passionate about education and helping to make the community better. You have to invest in the school systems. You have to be much more a leader as far as helping everybody working together to come to the common goal, which is to make the students be the best that they can be. Now, I have a background not only in business and office management and financials, but also in umpiring, calling balls and strikes, even when nobody likes what decisions you make. But it's all for what is best for the students. There's a lot that we can do to help everyone rise up and not suffocate from all the red tape and regulations, and not enough time is spent on cultivating the children to becoming the best that they can be. There is a certain amount where I have been observing schools, not only as a parent, but also as a chaperone for all the tours for the Dolphin Islands and Beta Clubs and tech school trips, but also learning all the students that all their needs are not necessarily what my children need. And we have to come together as a community, and we need someone that can encourage others to step up to the plate, to help each other out, because we are not a community if we are not helping each other. It's easy to do things individually, but it really takes a strong leader to bring everybody together.
Thank you. Rita, you've got 1 minute to respond.
well, I agree with what Dr. Maples said. We have to come together. We have to be able to listen to each other. I think one of the things that has occurred in Limestone County District 4 is a lack of communication. I think that we need good communication. We need to work together. We need teamwork. And as an educator who has spent, since 1994, I've been a teacher until I retired in 2016, I really have seen everything. Students be bullied. I've seen students who had no chance because of what was going on at home. I've seen all kinds of things happen to students. Helping them become the very best that they can be, whether it be a trade, whether it be college, or whether it be some type of career, kids need the very best, and I think we have to work together to make sure that they do get the best. One of the things that when I was going to school is, sorry. Stop.
She's very quick with that button.
It does go quick.
You're welcome with a 30-second response.
Oh,
If there's anything else you want to add?
well, I just want to say that when I was going to school, I was inspired by the teachers that taught me to become the person that I am, and I want to pass it forward. I want to use my talent not only to help others, but advocate for the students and the teachers, the administration, even the school board, because it's all based, because we have to be responsive to the community at large.
All right, thank you. Rita, you're going to start on this next question, and you'll have 2 minutes to answer this question. What is the biggest issue facing your district, and what is the biggest issue facing Limestone County schools, and what was your plan to address those issues?
I honestly believe that right now, 2020 has given us all challenges that we did not have prior to the COVID-19. I think teachers and principals are trying so hard to keep our kids safe. I think that with virtual school, there have been some issues, time, attendance, things of that nature. I believe that our board and our school teachers and our principals are doing the very best that they can. The kids are staying safe for the most part. Now, do we have issues that we can improve upon? Certainly. And honestly and truly, if we look back, when college online started their virtual classes, they had kinks to work out, because I took some classes. Not only did I take classes at UNA, the real class, but I also took classes at UWA where they were online. It was virtual. So our virtual school is going to have some issues, and we're going to have to be patient and look for answers, such as instead of requiring students to be logged in for 2 hours each day, we need to actually make sure that the students log in so many times per week, but the technology software should monitor how long the student is actually engaged, and college software actually does that. So I think that's something that we need to work out. There are issues such as bullying. There's things such as drugs in our school. And many years ago, we had a DARE program that was started in 1983. There's been a lot of research about that DARE program. We need a revamped program, and the DARE program was revamped in 2001 by a professor at the University of Kentucky. We need that in our schools desperately. So we do have issues, and that program looks at good decision making, not only drugs, but it looks at things such as bullying, making better decisions.
Thank you. Belinda, you can have a 1-minute response to that.
So the biggest issue that I think currently is definitely the COVID and the restrictions. And the information is very fluid, and it comes and goes, and I think everybody is doing the best they can with the information that we have. I think everybody is stepping up and doing their part, wearing masks, washing hands, and identifying cases and then making everybody else aware. I think they're doing the best that they can with that situation. I think the biggest issue is actually the amount of stress that our schools are under. We're getting a large amount of teachers that are retiring and getting burnt out because they're not only doing their role as a teacher, but also the parent role. They're doing more the discipline and making sure that they're fed, and the social skills that they should be learning more in the family. They're not. The teachers are having to do much more.
Thank you. Rita, if you want to close with 30 seconds.
I think you're right. Not only are teachers retiring, we're losing bus drivers left and right, and it's difficult. I think they have a challenge. I think that they are doing the very best that they can do, and I think parents are trying too, but they also have to be patient with the education system. Being a teacher for as many years, I taught from 94 to 2016, and we've seen everything. I mean, and there's some teachers here that I see, they know it's difficult, so we need to be patient with educators.
Belinda, this next question is going to focus on student workforce readiness. And you're going to start with, and you'll have 2 minutes to respond. What plan do you have to ensure Limestone County students are employable and workforce ready when they graduate?
So the students to be workforce ready, it takes a team to do that. It's not going to be one program or one teacher or a certain amount of parents. It's going to be everybody working together. You have to develop an environment where you cultivate leaders, not only at the school board, but the administration, the teachers, but even the students themselves, that they can help teach each other. Because, you know, back in the day, the oldest taught the youngest. Once they learned something, they helped the others learn what they did. And we need to come together as a community to get everybody ready. There are some things that I was thinking about, doing workshops and surveys, not only with the parents, teaching them, you know, what's available and what direction we can go in, and actually looking at the curriculum at tech school and emphasizing, you know, more a magnet type atmosphere, where if you're going to engineering, these are the courses we can take. If we're going into medicine, can we already have a degree in medical assistance or phlebotomy or, you know, EMT? Those are the things that I know about. But there's a lot of things that we can do in with welding or computer design, or something that you can actually get a certificate in and be ready to start. And you know, we have a lot of resources and businesses in this community that would love to have students coming right out of high school. And I've talked with several who are willing to, you know, put some resources and money to help develop students to start working right after school. Because it benefits them, it benefits the community, because they're getting income as soon as they graduate.
Take a 1-minute response.
Okay, Limestone County Tech System is one of the best. I attended the tech school when I was a junior in high school, and we had a CETA program back then. I worked at the Board of Education and at the probate judge office, so that job shadowing is a wonderful tool that should be implemented now. I can't say enough about our tech school. Not all kids are meant to go to college. Some kids need a trade. My daddy was a mechanic, and mechanics are in short supply, so I think that trades are just as important as preparing a student for college. The student needs to decide what he or she wants. We need a mentorship program, and that's an extension of the guidance program at school, where a student can, if they feel threatened, they can go talk to that role model. This has been implemented in Morgan County. I know for a fact because I was a guidance counselor there, and that works. Whenever you have a group of 35 students or 30, and those kids can come to you and talk to you if they feel bullied, it's very important. So I feel strongly about our tech program. I feel strongly about our guidance program, and I think an extension through mentorship is a good idea.
And you have 30 seconds if you want to.
I agree with mentorship, because we have to, you know, guide students as well. Another way is that a lot of people don't like communicating out loud when they're being harassed or abused, is actually having an interactive website where you can report things or give ideas of how we can go in a different direction. Because I'm not saying that I have all the ideas, but I am listening and incorporating everything that people will say.
Okay, Rita, we're going to start with you on this next question. It is about school board budgets. A few years back, the school board had a significant deficit, and we wonder what you would do, or what you would put in place to ensure that maybe that doesn't happen again, what a plan would be for a budget.
Well, I know that about $84 million was the budget, and I think that a few years ago that we had leadership, leadership that did not manage that well. I think that once we're put in place as a leader, that we are called to be good stewards. We should be responsible with what we are given. I don't think that anything should be spent frivolously just to keep up with other systems. I think that we have to look at what our children in Limestone County need, and it should be geared toward what our students need. And I think that having the leadership we have now, that I think things will turn around. I honestly believe that we're on the right track. We have someone in the role now that has 30 years experience from a progressive state, and I honestly believe that we're on the right track now. There should be tools put in place. There should be a checks and balances so that this couldn't happen again. Our system got into a bad way, and it does not need to happen again. So yes, there should be tools put in place. I think if everyone keeps their eyes and ears open and is not afraid to speak their mind, I mean, I'm not saying be aggressive, but be assertive if you feel like someone's doing something wrong, and speak your mind and keep your eyes and ears open. When I worked at the Board of Education as a junior, we had a bookkeeper. She was outstanding, and through the years we've had wonderful bookkeepers. I think a lot of times things are put back on a person who is working in a position such as that when it's not really that person's fault. So our leadership now should improve. Everything should get better, and we're on the upswing in Limestone County schools.
Belinda, if you want to address the school board budget.
I agree that we learn from our mistakes. And, once you get into trouble, you buckle down and you direct your energy toward, doing things that are much more accountable to the citizens of this county, because we are investing in the education of our kids, okay? We have to have systems of accountability and transparency. So when everything was being brought on the news, as a parent, I tried to find out some information, and it was nowhere to be found. I couldn't find out where we spent money, or I did find out how much we had per student. At the time, it was about $8,000 a student that was in the budget, but that didn't tell me where it was being spent. And I can calculate how many students are in a class and how much the teacher does. But if we were more transparent to the community, publicize it, or at least have it where we can have access to it.
Rita, if you want 30 seconds.
Okay. One thing that Dr. Maples mentioned that I would like to address, I know something was mentioned about the graduation rate. The state of Alabama always publishes the graduation rate, and we went from 89% to 90% over the last 5 years in Limestone County schools. So we increased our graduation rate. We spend $10,400 per student, and we do have an interactive site where you can report any kind of abuse or bullying, and it's through the Alabama Department of Public Health. That interactive site, if you know of any kind of bullying, you can go to that site online, put it in, and you will be contacted for more information. Everybody may not know that, but I think everyone should, because there's too much of that going on the school bus, at school, on the playground. Yes, it needs to be reported.
Belinda, if you want to start with this question. School facilities. I know that they have built the new elementary school out in District 4. If there were any facility priorities in the district, what would you say they are?
So, facility-wise, it is, we need more accountability and transparency, and, we've got cameras in the hallways, because students can tell you a story and it not necessarily be the actual truth, because it's their perspective and not necessarily what actually was transpired. And so you need an umpire, somebody at the middle. In our building, it's one of the older buildings, so we have some issues just superficial with paint and flooring and sound systems, and equipment is probably the most that we need the most help with. Not only with science, mainly is the ones I know about, the burners, and my son just said that his cooking class needs a new blender, needs a new ovens, pots and pans. So it's just things that we can teach a trade to is more what we need, because the people and the students are really as good as anywhere in the state, and what I consider the best. It is more, do they have the resources that they need to accomplish what they want to accomplish?
Do you want to respond to that?
Yes, I would like to respond to that. Elkmont Elementary is on target to be built in the next couple of years. I think that's a great thing that our superintendent is already looking for plans and contractors that will open up soon. Sugar Creek costs $13 million, and it combined Owens and West Limestone Elementaries. And just recently, West Limestone Elementary, the old elementary, was torn down. So I have to give a shout out to our transportation and maintenance department. I think they do a great job trying to keep our facilities up. The custodians in the schools, they do as much as they can, and we're always going to have room for improvement, like the things that's needed in our family and consumer science and science labs. I know that we're always going to need those things, but some of the funding comes from the state, and there are often years that the state actually cuts back on that. So whenever we do not have those type of funding, we need to do fundraisers and help our teachers in any way we can so that they can get the blender and the things they need.
You want to respond to that?
A lot of those things are state and government financing is, I think the biggest thing that we can do is get the local businesses to also start helping, getting some resources and funding for things that would help the students be the best versions of themselves. So let's hope they come around.
So y'all made it through the hard part. We're on to closing statements, and Rita, you're going to go first for the closing statement. Okay. You have 1 minute.
Well, I have experience. That's what I have to offer. And with being retired, I think I have time to devote to listening to the people in District 4. We have need representation in each district. So if you would think about someone who's retired would have time to return your calls. Someone who is retired would have time to answer your emails. And I'm not saying that I will sway with the wind, but I will listen to what you have to say, and I will present it. So I want to earn your vote. I want to earn your trust. And my goal is to find the best for the students, the very best, help them to be the best they can and to build futures for our students, because we have some really good kids in Limestone County schools.
Okay, Belinda, if you want to make your closing statement.
I have tried to think about what sets me apart from Ms. Jackson, and we both desire to serve others and to advocate for the school system. We are both dedicated to helping others, and I admire her completely for that. I think that what sets me apart basically is that I'm an outsider. I'm not beholden to anyone. I don't have alliances. I don't have bias or prejudice. I'm a little independent and a little more objective because I don't have preconceived notions about who people are or what they can bring to the table. I am not confined about how things were done in the past, and can think of things a little bit outside the box, being a little more creative and trying to bring some real-world solutions to some of the common problems that the education has had to deal with. I really think my training as a physician and office manager umpire has prepared me to become a really good school board member, and I would really appreciate your vote on November the 4th.
Well, I thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate you having us.
We are going to move on to Limestone County Commission District 2. If Danny Barksdale and Roger Williams would like to come up. Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Roger. So we're going to do this a little bit similar to the school board in the fact that we're going to start out with 1-minute introductions.
Okay.
And Roger, you draw the number 1, so you're going to go first on this one. You're going to have a minute.
Okay. My name is Roger Williams, and I'm from Limestone County. I come down here in 1979, and I become a single parent in 1981. So I raised 4 boys in the Athens City school system. And it was a kind of a steep thing to do, you know, single man working, raising kids. But anyway, I got them all through, and they turned out pretty good. And I met my current wife in 1994, and we live in Limestone County in the Ivy Chase subdivision. And I just feel like, I mean, I love this place. I want to see it prosper. I want to see it to grow. I want everybody to be happy and their kids to be happy. You know, it's just an amazing place to live, and I want to keep it that way. With that.
All right. Danny, if you want to make your 1-minute introduction.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name's Danny Barksdale. I'm the Republican nominee for District 2 Limestone County Commissioner. I would like to thank the Chamber and the News Courier for sponsoring this event. I appreciate their initiative into wanting a more informed electorate. I'm a lifelong resident of Limestone County with the exception of 4 years in the Army. I got out of the Army and started school on the GI Bill and got a degree in accounting from the University of Montevallo. I think I can make a difference in helping Limestone County. The main challenge I see for Limestone County at this time is managing our growth within the borders of our existing revenue funds. Thank you.
Thank you. And on this next question, Roger, you're going to go first, and Danny, then you'll have a 1-minute response after that. What is the biggest issue facing your district in District 2, and what is the biggest issue facing Limestone County? And then also, how do you plan to address those issues?
Okay, well, the biggest issue we have in Limestone County, especially in District 2, we've got 700 new homes being built. And we got a plant coming in here, the Mazda Toyota plant, that's going to bring in about 5,000 new jobs. So our infrastructure is really not set for that. You know, we don't have the money. There's not enough money wasted to cover this. We've got to find new ways to make money. So, and you can't do it with existing money, because I think a traffic light, you know, to add an intersection, like on Jones Road, is like $150,000 to $250,000 just for one intersection. So, and I think they need 2, because there's 3 subdivisions coming in that area. So that's a lot of money, and it's we're going to have to look at different places, you know, to draw the money from. I mean, it seems to me like we give these abatements to all these people to come in here, but yet the state leaves us high and dry on how we're going to maintain, you know, how we're going to improve the infrastructure. I mean, the money just don't fall out of the sky. So, you know, you got to try to get money from the state, like a growing fee. Let's see. You got to redistribute the existing local funds. We got to change spending priorities. things that really don't need to be spent, we need to change it. That can wait. We got to explore new annex revenue, because whenever the cities like Huntsville, Madison, Decatur, when they annex our area, they take on the responsibility of the roads. So that's a plus for us. But the negative side of that is the people that live there, you know, they use the roads coming in and out, so it's still going to put some damage to the roads outside.
Danny, if you want to respond, you've got 1 minute.
Thank you. As I said in my opening statement, I think the main challenge for the commission is managing our growth within our current revenue funds. The Code of Alabama prevents counties, they give them no authority to raise funds at all. So you're going to have to redistribute your existing funds. Now, when you say infrastructure approval, that will be between Athens, Huntsville, Madison, all of them. We have resources to deal with it. We're just going to have some inconvenient times with traffic and such. Greenbrier Parkway, when it's open down here, that will relieve a lot of congestion toward the southern part. That, of course, that's in District 3. But I think we have the resources to deal with our growth, and we have the people to do it.
Roger, you've got 30 seconds if you want to.
Well, I disagree with you, Danny. I don't think we got the money. I've studied this thing to the T. I've talked with John Meredith out of Huntsville, the newly elected council, and he's in agreement. We got to do something. The money's not there, and I'm the guy that's going to get it there.
Danny, this next question is going to be about roads and transportation, and you're going to get to go first on that one, and you've got a 2-minute response. We talked a little bit about some of the roads in your district in the last question. What are top priority road projects for your district?
Well, District 2 is probably in better shape road-wise than any of the other districts, primarily because they have 181 miles of roads, where District 4 probably has 320-something, 340, District 3. District 2 is the smallest district. They try to keep the same population in all 4 districts. The District 2, being a more populated area, of course, has less road miles. So they have the best roads probably in the county. Capshaw Road is probably going to be one of the next ones to pave. Southern Mooresville Road is a pretty bad road, but it's in District 3. And of course, when Madison or Huntsville annexes something, as Roger said, they become responsible for those roads. So as far as roads go, they're in pretty good shape. Just the growth and a district, I would rely on traffic counts and a county engineer for what we need to do in District 2.
Thank you. Roger, if you want to respond, what top priority road projects are in that district?
Well, there's quite a few of them, and it's a lot bigger than resurfacing. Mooresville Road needs to be 4-lane. You wouldn't believe the traffic is backed up. I mean, people coming home from work, they're backed up way past the Chevron station. Whenever you're trying to get home, you used to come down 72, but now you can't. You go down Capshaw. Now Capshaw's backed up. So it's going to be a situation where we got to add intersections. We got to add lanes. We got to add turn lanes, and it's not cheap. It costs a lot of money for 1 mile of road. And you know, repaving is good, but we're beyond that now. We're in a bigger danger now of not having the capacity for cars to commute on.
And Danny, if you want to follow up on that.
Well, I agree with him. Roads cost a lot of money. A mile of road, I think, is about $131,000. An intersection is probably $2 or $3 million. The county budget for roads last year was $350,000. So I don't know how you're going to build intersections with $350,000.
All right, thank you. Roger, you're going to start with this next question, and it has to do with a comprehensive plan and future land use. This is a two-part question, so it's going to take just a minute to get through.
Okay.
All right. Limestone County has a lot of available and desirable land for development. What would be your plan for growth and future land use in those areas? And then in part two, what areas do you think have the most potential for future growth, and what areas do you think are a priority for future growth?
Well, I believe, of course, here we go back to District 2. I don't know the figure, but there's a lot of them for sale for, for use of building houses. I mean, not houses, but businesses and all that kind of stuff. But my plan would be all these new houses being built, these new subdivisions, there should be a assessment. Let's see what it is. It's a growth. Yeah, it's a growth tax that the developer needs to be paying to accommodate, to help finance the infrastructure that needs to come up. I mean, it's not only roads. You got your water lines. You got your sewage. You got your garden pickup. You got, police protection, fire protection. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And it cannot be done unless we manage and plan this new growth. You can't let just everybody come in without a plan. If you do, you're going to affect the people that's been here for a long time. They're going to have to take up the slack on the money, taxes, while the people making all the money is not going to have to pay anything. But your old taxpayers that's been here a long time, if you have to raise the taxes to get this done. I'm not for, it's up to the people in my district. I'm not for or against. It's whatever their choice is. If they choose to raise taxes, fine. If they choose to leave things like it is, fine. It's up to them.
And Danny, what would your response be to that question?
Well, I'm all for maintaining a business-friendly environment for Limestone County, but as Roger said a while ago, we have swallowed an elephant in the Toda Mazda plant. So I'm not opposed to digesting that rascal a little bit while we prepare infrastructure and do other things to get prepared for it. The term Roger's looking for on developers helping to fund developments is called impact fees. If a subdivision comes into your area, you can assess a fee, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 to help fund any cost that subdivision causes. If it requires a red light's $150,000. Well, you'll recoup enough from those impact fees to install that red light, where now it's just at the taxpayer's expense who's been here for 50 years, and then you got a new person moving in from out of town that's never paid a penny of Limestone County taxes. So I hadn't made a decision yet, but I think I would probably favor impact fees. I'm sorry, did I go over?
Roger, you've got 30 seconds if you want to respond.
Okay, well, thank you for straightening me out on the impact fee. It was at the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't get there. But I agree, that is the things that we got to do. We got to get revenue in that's coming from somebody else besides the taxpayer. And we can't cut our programs like we was talking earlier about schools. Man, our schools are busting out of the seam. And we got to do something about it. We got to know, we got to have a plan to know what we're going to do about it. We can't stick them in trailers, and let that be.
All right, we're going to skip around here because y'all were touching on a subject that I have a question about for both of y'all. Danny, you're going to go first on this one. Neighboring counties have recently discussed impact fees, which is a fee imposed on a new or proposed development project to pay for all or a portion of the cost providing public services to a new development. do you think impact fees are something we need to be discussing more here in Limestone County, and why or why not?
I certainly do, and I think I haven't completed my study on that, but as I've said before, most of us have lived here for all our lives. We've paid Limestone County taxes all our lives. Most of the people, the subdivisions that are starting are people coming in from Huntsville. They come to Limestone County because they can get more house for the money. So I don't have a problem charging them a $5,000 impact fee on a home. To me, that lets them get caught up with the taxes Limestone County citizens have paid all their life. And most of the new developments will be occupied by people who are moving into the county. So to answer your question, yes.
All right. Roger, what do you feel about impact fees?
I feel like we need to have impact fees. I mean, they need to help pay for the cost of the change that they made to our communities. So I'm all for impact fees. And, you know, and another thing, I feel like the state should not leave us hanging high and dry. You know, they get us these big businesses, which is good. I love having Toyota come in here. But we give them all these abatements and keep all the, you know, y'all don't have to pay this, y'all don't have to pay that. Then the taxpayers have to pick up the slack. But I think the government ought to have a emergency funding for counties in a certain level of growth, like Limestone County's in. Because I don't care who you are, when you're being thrown that big of an elephant, I mean, it's tough. It is tough.
Danny, did you want to follow up on that question?
No, I'm good.
All right. So, Roger, you're going to go first with this question. There are some who believe Limestone County is missing out on substantial tax revenue by not allowing legal alcohol sales. Are you in favor of legalizing alcohol sales, and why or why not?
Well, that is a touchy question. Because I just finished 4-year ministry class, so that's a hard thing to say. But the truth of it is, if you can go, you know, to Madison County and buy your liquor, you can go, you know, to Lauderdale, Morgan, or even go to Athens City and then take it into the county. I think the county's missing out on some money. And I'm really for getting all the revenue we can. I mean, if the people's going to drink, then they ought to be helping out with our taxes. I mean, like I said, that is a very hard question, and I just tell it like it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I just think, you know, I think it's the best thing to do.
Danny, what do you feel on that?
Well, I'm a non-drinker, but it makes no sense to me that you can buy alcohol on one side of the street, walk across the street, and you can't buy it. In Limestone County, you're no more than 5 minutes away from alcohol sales anywhere you live. So I don't see distinguishing between in the city and in the county. I would make it all one law.
Do you want to follow up on that, or?
No, I agree.
Okay. All right.
I agree.
Well, y'all are over the hard part.
It wasn't too tough a question.
No, that wasn't too bad.
We're going to move on to closing statements. So, Danny, you get to go first on your closing statement.
Well, I'm gonna have to get my Zooms on for that. I got all this time, had to get my Zooms on. If elected, I will be a strong conservative voice on the county commission. Our county may be facing some issues, but I do not agree with my opponent's statement that Limestone County is in trouble. We have a low unemployment rate, good sources, and a great community of some of the finest people I have ever met. We will be experiencing some growing pains like additional traffic, but nothing the people of Limestone County and the Commission cannot effectively manage together. I love Limestone County and will do my best to ensure that the County Commission serves you with honesty and integrity. That was my standard while serving in the United States Army, and I will bring that same commitment to the County Commission. Thank you for your time, and God bless you.
Thank you, Danny. Roger, if you want to make your closing statement.
Yeah, and like I said, I can't see how Danny don't believe that we're in trouble with all the growth that's going on. With, I mean, our existing roads we got potholes, everywhere, and we can't even fix them, much less, build new roads and new intersections, new schools, add fire departments, police departments. But I think we are in serious trouble, and I think you got to recognize that. If you don't recognize that, then I don't think you would perform very well as a commissioner. I see these problems. I research these problems. I talked to John Meredith out of Huntsville. They annexed. I've talked to the city engineer. I know exactly what kind of trouble that we're in. I know his concerns. And we got a hard job to do. And my hat's off for the current commissioners because they got a tough job. And I'm wanting to help, so vote for me, and I'll be on the team, and we'll get this thing fixed.
Well, I want to thank both of y'all. Thank you so much. We're going to wrap up with District 4, Ben Harrison and LaDon Townsend.
Let's see.
Hey, LaDon.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Ben.
Are y'all ready for your 1-minute introductions?
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, we're going to start out with introductions, and Ben drew number 1, so we're going to let Ben go first on that.
Okay. I'm Ben Harrison. I'm the current District 4 Commissioner, and I want to thank the News Courier and the Chamber for putting this together. And I also want to thank all those that are watching on live stream. It has been an honor to serve the people of District 4 as our County Commissioner. I'm a lifelong resident of Limestone County. I'm married to Beth McGuire Harrison, and together we have 4 children, Aaron, Caleb, Olivia, and Emily. I first ran for office because I care about my community. I'm not your career politician. I come from industry, and I think my voting record reflects that. I'm proud to be a conservative, and I'll always be a consistent conservative voice on the County Commission. I'm a Christian, a husband, a father, and a grandfather who cares about the future of our county. Thank you.
LaDon, if you want to do your 1-minute introduction.
Hello, I'm LaDon Townsend. I want to begin, too, thanking the County Chamber of Commerce and the News Courier for hosting this, with all the uncertainty with this pandemic and everything that's going on. I've lived in District 4 all my life. I've been married to my wife for 25 years, and we have 3 children. I'm a poultry farmer. I've been a poultry farmer for 20 years. I'm also an assistant varsity baseball coach at West Limestone High School, where I deal with children every day. I am not a career politician. This is my first time running for any political office. I want to see better things for this district and county. I want to be an independent voice for the people. I want to improve roads, support schools, and I want to demand accountability for our tax dollars and recruit jobs. It is time for District 4 to have a commissioner that will communicate and get along with everyone, and I know I can do that with your support.
All right, Ben, you're going to start out on this next question. You'll have 2 minutes. What's the biggest issue facing your district? What is the biggest issue facing Limestone County, and how do you plan to address those issues?
Well, I think the same as in the previous District 2's comments. The biggest issue for my district is the road funding. When I came in, I was looking at 27% of the funds that I needed to maintain our roads on a sustainable basis. So, I went to try to get more funds, but I also started to look to lower our cost of road construction, and because I think that is the biggest issue. There's not going to be money falling from heaven. The gas tax is there will be no more gas tax percentage-wise for a pretty good long time. So we got to figure out how to make do with the money that we are given. But the road funding and the condition of our roads is a big issue in District 4. A lot of our roads don't have adequate base, and so what I've been doing is trying to reinforce that base, get the proper drainage first before you do anything, then address the base, and then you talk about what type of surface you want to put on the road. But roads are the biggest issue facing District 4 in funding.
LaDon, you've got 1 minute if you want to respond to that.
I agree with Ben. Roads is a huge issue in District 4. I've lived there for 46 years, and our roads are worse now than they've ever been. And I know there's a funding issue, but I do believe that with the right voice and the right work to work with our commission, we need to try to find some way of finding some means of funding to help out there. And I know Ben has done a lot of things out there to try to cut cost. I believe we need to fix the roads right to start with. Spend the money right off the get-go, and then maintain that road. And then you won't have to come back to that road for several years. Just maintain it, keep the water off of it, keep our ditches clean where the water gets off the roads. There's a lot of little things that we can do to help our roads out there in that county that I've seen over the years where I've lived, because I live on some of the back roads, as we call it. And there's a lot of things that we can do to help our roads out there by getting with our state delegates and trying to find some more funding.
Ben, you've got 30 seconds if you'd like to take that.
Oh, well, I would just like to say what we have done is to try to improve our roads and start with reclaiming roads and doing it right, just like you say. And I've done several roads that way, end of Barker Road, Cannon Road, Maple Circle, where we purchased the equipment necessary to do that. So like you say, where you don't have to go back every time it rains. That's been part of our problem, is wasting time going on roads that were not adequately built. Because like one engineer said, previous engineer said, we don't build roads, we just pave over what's there. Well, we've got to go back and rebuild some of those roads.
And similar to District 2, LaDon, and you're going to take the first response on this one. What are top priority road projects in District 4?
Well, District 4 has several top road projects. I'm sure Ben knows. He's got a list I'm sure he works on every day. But in my opinion, we've got Easter Ferry Road, I think, is on the agenda to get some paving, but both ends need to be paved. I know he's paved some of it, but we've got to get all of it paved. Cotton Belt, it's in bad shape. You can go even on further to some of the back roads that I've drove down. Chapman Holler, Country Corner. We've got some gravel roads that are in terrible shape. And I know they're gravel roads, but we need to work on these roads. They've been there. We've spent a lot of money on these roads, since they were built, and people still want these roads. You got Buzzard Roost Road, which is right there behind me. It's a dumping. It's trash all over the road, and there's nothing been done about it. Those are just some of the roads. I could name several that we need to work on out there in that district. And we need to do a better job of inspecting some of our smaller bridges, some of our tiles that are collapsing. We got to have a good working relationship, with Speaker McCutcheon, Governor Ivey, people like that, to try to see if we can't bring some more funding in. Because right now I know the funding is the biggest issue, and we've got to get some of these roads to be safe. We got school buses going down them. It's got children on them, and they're not safe. They're not safe. Some of them they're not wide enough for the school bus to cross and meet a car. They're just not, and we've got to do something about this.
Ben, if you want to respond on the top priority roads.
Well, that is the roads that he mentioned are major collector roads that are categorized as the major drainers that drain the northwest part of the county. Easter Ferry is correct. We did 2 portions of that road, and I was waiting on, there's a highway safety improvement program that we've got that's supposed to be let sometime in November. Okay, that will be done, and that'll get that portion of East Fair Road from the Sulphur Creek Bridge all the way down to Elk River. I was waiting on them to do their part, and I was waiting. That's been going on for 2.5 years. I decided to just go ahead and do my part and then wait till they get done with their part, or let them get done with their part after I do. Easter Ferry is a main drainage, and New Cut Road is a problem, or has been a problem. I've got the first 2.8 miles with the Alabama rebuild money. Next year I'll have the federal aid fund swap money. I'll have also the Alabama rebuild money. Will be able to go from Georgia Store all the way out to 72. So those are the major roads.
LaDon, if you've got 30 seconds if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I know the major roads are a concern, but I think my biggest point's going to be, we've got to do those because, everybody drives those. But our secondary roads they're in a mess. I mean, they got to have a lot of attention. I mean, you can use my road for an example. I mean, it's nothing been done to it in forever. And we've got to get these roads in a lot better shape because, the school bus goes down my road twice a day, in the morning and afternoon. It goes down Shoal Creek Road every day, over Good Springs. I mean, there's all kinds of these back roads that we've got to figure out a way of getting some attention to these roads.
All right, Ben, we're going to move on to and talk a little bit about comprehensive plans. You're going to start with this one. You'll have 2 minutes on this one. Would you be in favor of a comprehensive plan for land use and future development in Limestone County, including placing zoning ordinance in place to aid in future development, and why or why not?
The city of Houston has somehow managed to get by without zoning regulations. They do it and manage it with land covenants. My response to that is I am a conservative, limited government type of person. I am a very strong proponent of property rights. And yes, my response to people who want that out in the county would be to go request annexation to the city, because they'll be glad to tell you what you can and can't do with your property, and they'll tax you for that privilege. My residents do not want that out in their portion of the county. I don't. If you want to form a gated community with their own HOAs and regulations, that's fine. But people need a place to resort to if they don't want that type of heavy-handed government. That's the purpose of municipalities and cities, and that's my view on it. I would not be a proponent for comprehensive zoning out in the county. I know it's an issue. I have thought a little bit about this, of what I would like, instead of the building regulations and the things that go along with that, in addition to what that we already have, is some way of the people knowing what they are buying. That when they go into new construction, it's videoed, and they know what the things that are hidden, that are normally hidden, that would be revealed, so that they would know what they're buying. So that's my thoughts.
Okay. LaDon, you've got.
Well, I agree with Ben. I mean, we don't need any, ordinance in the county. I mean, because me being a farmer, I mean, I don't want to be told what I can and can't do with my property. I mean, that's kind of the way that's the way it's always been. That's kind of the way I believe. But now, as far as, having a comprehensive plan, I think as far as the city goes, we need to make sure that we're prepared for some of these industries and stuff that's coming in. So if the county commission can help with any of those issues to get, things lined up for this Toyota Mazda and stuff like that, then yes, we need to help with some of that stuff. But no, we don't need to have anything that kind of hinders us as farmers and people out there that have bought small farms to make them have any kind of zoning rights and stuff.
Ben, did you want to follow up on that?
I have nothing to add.
All right.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
LaDon, we're going to start with you on this one. It's about workforce. Limestone County's unemployment rate is at 3.9%. Projections show that the region can expect approximately 25,000 jobs in the next 3 years, and our region needs to bring in approximately 55,000 people to support those jobs. What is your plan to make Limestone County an attractive place for these workers to locate as they're taking these jobs in North Alabama?
Okay. With me living here all my life and raising 3 kids, I feel like we need to do a better job of, making it attractive for people with children to come here to get them ready for the job force as well. So if we've got stuff implemented into our school system, our tech programs, and stuff like that, I believe we can get people to want to live here, to want to come here, want to move here. I believe if we can attract more business to come here, whether it be, industry or things that people enjoy coming and doing, I believe that's a big thing. I mean, we need to do dual enrollment. We need to reach out to these industries to do more shadowing programs, encourage them to do internships, stuff like that, because I know if I'm a parent and I'm bringing my kid, I want my kids to be here. I want them to know what kind of industry is here, and I want them to know what my kid's future is going to be once I bring my children here. I'm going to raise my family here. And I believe that, we need to, as a commission, we need to work on that, because I talk to kids on a daily basis out there at school, and most kids don't know what they want to do. And I encourage them to get out and go to, look, research, and I believe that's a big deal that we need to do with, because we're in a gold mine right now. I mean, the industry's moving in left and right, and I believe if we work with our school systems, I really do believe that, people will be proud, because I know I'm proud of this county. I'm proud of where I raised my kids, and I think that's what we need to lean more on.
Ben, if you want to respond to that question.
I'm going to ask you to read the question.
Sure.
I was distracted.
That's okay. Limestone County's unemployment rate is at 3.9%. Projections show that our region can expect approximately 25,000 jobs in the next 3 years, and our region needs to bring in approximately 55,000 people to support those jobs. What is your plan to make Limestone County an attractive place for these workers to locate as they're taking these jobs in North Alabama?
An attractive place to locate. Well, overall, I would say, how well are we doing our job? Are we providing for the infrastructure? Are we supporting our schools and providing the type of instruction that will enable them to go into these industries? We have finally shifted in our focus, instead of trying to get 80% of the people into college. We've reversed that to where, because there's only 20% of the job require college education, and we have been trying to force everybody to college, and it's driven up prices. It's created a mess. We have shifted and recognized the fact that more trades and technical schools training needs to be done to provide the employers with an adequate workforce.
LaDon, if you want to follow up on that question.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Ben on a lot of things being said. I mean, we've got to get our kids, a little bit more lined up, because, I mean, with my children, they didn't know what they wanted to do. But another thing we need to work on out here to make it more attractive to people to move, especially to District 4, is our broadband. I mean, we have no internet. Where we live, there's zero internet out there, and we need to do something about that. That's something that's got to be done. It's something I know there's money allocated from Montgomery that I don't think that we're getting. I don't know why, but we've got to get with our representatives and see if there's a way we can get more money out there to get that done.
Ben, I'm going to start with you on this question. You'll have 2 minutes like the rest of the other questions. About a year ago, Limestone County was one of 17 of the 67 Alabama counties using the district system when it comes to road maintenance and repair. Other counties are using a unit system where a single road crew of employees works on all the roads throughout the county. What are your feelings on the unit system, and do you think it would work in Limestone County?
There are pros and cons to the unit system, and you really have to define what you mean as a unit system. There's 1,000 different flavors of it, okay, even though there, say, every 60 counties or 50 counties are on the unit system. I am, Danny Barksdale and I have talked about this. There are definite pros in terms of efficiencies. You can be more efficient with everything is one, and you can have specialized crews. There's one-time savings and redundancy of equipment, and continuing savings on that, the maintenance of that equipment. So there are efficiencies, but However, there are also concerns of the people losing closer representation to the county commission, and that's important. And I would be in favor of looking at this when we form the new commission and discussing the options. I think that what type of unit system we go with needs to be clearly defined and in writing. The gentlemen's agreements don't seem to work on commissions. So I'm in favor of looking at it. I'm in favor of looking at it.
Okay. LaDon, what do you?
I agree. I mean, I've kind of looked into it, and I've done some talking and some checking and stuff. But I feel like we need something to, especially where we're at in District 4. We do have more miles than anybody else, and I want to make sure our side of the county is not left out, per se. I mean, right now our funding is short over there, and I think it could work, but again, it needs to be something that needs to be in writing so that we know for sure that it's going to work, and our citizens is not going to get left out. And two, I don't want the citizens to have to go through, jump through a bunch of hoops to get their elected official to do something for them. I mean, right now they come straight to the commissioner, and the commissioner takes care of whatever they need doing. If we go the other way, then you got to go to the commissioner. The commissioner's got to go to this, that. So I mean, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of pluses and a lot of minuses to it. So I mean, it'll be something worth looking into.
Ben, you want to add anything to that?
No, I agree with what we need to look at it, but it needs to be clearly defined, and a lot of preparation going into the transition into unit system. It's not something that would be done overnight.
Well, we made it through the hard part. We're going to move on to our closing statements, and LaDon, you get to make your first closing statement.
Okay. Again, I just want to reiterate that I am an honest, hardworking, successful business owner who would take those values and treat each other with every person with the respect and dignity they deserve. I know there's a lot of learning in this job, but I assure you that every job I've ever done, I can learn, and I've always been successful at everything I've done. In any questions I've ever had, I know with this job, you got your engineering, accounting, the HR, the chairman. I know they can help me, and I'm willing to reach out for help to do this job. I think I am a candidate that can do it. I have a work ethic that my wife will tell you is 7 days a week. I mean, it's no rest for the weary when you got things to do. I'll be a voice for all the people of District 4, and I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for each and every one of you to fill in that oval beside my name, and please vote Independent for LaDon Townsend for County Commissioner. Thank you.
Ben, you've got 1 minute.
I'm proud of my record on the county commission. I love this community. I want to see it flourish in the years to come, and I work to support, defend, and serve the people of District 4 every day. As a Christian and a Republican, I will stand for honesty, responsible spending, keeping taxes as low as possible, and increasing government transparency. I will stand for the values we believe in, and I will always be a voice for you, the taxpayer, on the county commission. I'm proud to serve you and humbly ask for your vote on November the 3rd. Thank you for your time, and may God bless us with all wisdom and discernment. Thank you.
Thanks, both of you.
Well, that concludes our forum for this evening. Again, thank you to Lora with the News Courier for moderating. If we can all give her a round of applause. Great job this evening, and also to Jessica as well. She had a great job with the bell. Thank you to the Limestone County Commission as well for allowing us to use the facility, and thank you so much for the candidates for coming out tonight and sharing with us your thoughts and plans and vision for our community. Thank you so much, and as a reminder, please go and vote. Thank you.